Have you ever wondered what hurts more, being heartbroken or realizing she never cared as much as you did? One moment, you're everything to her. The next, you're just a memory she doesn't revisit. No explanation, no closure, just silence. And you're left staring at your phone, waiting for a message that's never coming. But let me tell you something, that silence you're sitting in, that pain in your chest, it's not weakness, it's fuel. You just haven't realized it yet. See, most men panic when they get left. They beg, they chase, they try to prove their worth to someone who already decided to walk away. And that's exactly what she expects you to do. She expects you to fall apart, to lose yourself, to drown in what-ifs and late-night overthinking. But what if you did the opposite? What if you embraced the silence, owned the heartbreak, and used it as the trigger for transformation? This isn't about getting her back. It's about getting you back. That version of yourself before the overthinking, before the emotional chaos, before you put her on a pedestal. It's about becoming a man so calm, so focused, so untouchable, she starts to question her decision. But you don't need to convince her of anything. Let her doubt, let her wonder, let her regret. You don't need closure. You need control of your mind, of your emotions, of your actions. You need to become a fortress with no doors, stoic, silent, unshaken. Because the most dangerous man is the one who knows how to suffer in silence and still rise. So if you're done being the one left wondering, if you're ready to step into quiet power and make her regret walking away, not with words, but with your evolution, then hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications and comment below. I release what I cannot control. Now, let's begin. Number 1. The fall, when she walked away. It starts with that moment, the moment everything you thought was solid crumbles right under you. Maybe she sat you down and gave you some rehearsed speech. Maybe she just stopped texting back. Maybe you saw her smile a little too easily with someone else. However it happened, it shook you. You felt it like a punch in the gut, a wave of disbelief, confusion, rage, emptiness. Because when a woman walks away, especially one you gave your heart to, it doesn't just hurt, it shatters your reality. Suddenly, nothing makes sense. You question every memory, every conversation, every time you thought she meant it when she said, "I'm not going anywhere." And the worst part, she didn't flinch. She didn't look back. She made you feel disposable, replaceable, like you were just a chapter in a story she already finished reading. That's the fall. That's rock bottom. And yeah, it's dark down here, but here's the twist. This is where real men are forged. Not in comfort, not in love stories, but in the aftermath of betrayal and silence. This is where you stop being soft. This is where you learn to stop handing out loyalty to people who haven't earned it. You don't realize how much of yourself you gave away until you have nothing left but your name. And now it's about what you do next. You can beg, you can break, or you can burn it all down inside and rebuild brick by brick. No more texting her. No more checking if she watched your story. No more hoping she'll realize what she lost. That's not your job anymore. Your only job now is rebirth. Let her go. Let her watch you become something she'll never have access to again. Because the moment you stop trying to prove your worth to someone who left is the moment you start proving it to yourself. If you're done reliving the past, if you're ready to stop bleeding for someone who isn't even looking back, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I reclaim myself from this moment on. Number 2. The pause. Silence is strategy. Now that she's gone, your next move is the one that will haunt her the most. Nothing. You don't reach out. You don't ask why. You don't give her the satisfaction of seeing you break. You go silent, not as a petty game, but as a power move. because in a world where everyone overshares, your silence becomes louder than any outburst. She expects noise, tears, texts, desperation, but you give her stillness. That silence. It plants seeds in her mind. Understand this. Silence isn't weakness. It's discipline. It's calculated. When you go quiet, you give her space to hear her own thoughts. And those thoughts will start asking questions. Why hasn't he called? Why didn't he fight for me? Did he even care? That's the power of the pause. It makes her sit with the discomfort she thought she was dumping on you. While she's scrolling, wondering if you're hurting, you're focused. You've chosen restraint over reaction. That alone sets you apart. Weak men chase closure. Strong men become it. Your silence is not the absence of care, it's the presence of control. And she'll feel it. Because the loudest, "I've moved on," is the one that doesn't need to be said. If she ever mattered to you, let the silence say everything. You're not trying to win her back. You're giving her the space to realize she lost something rare. And whether she comes back or not, that's irrelevant. Because this isn't about her anymore. It's about you learning to sit with your own power and not hand it over for the sake of temporary comfort. If you're done chasing validation, if you're ready to speak through silence and lead with control, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My silence is my strength. Number 3. The shift from emotion to execution. The emotions will come in waves: anger, sadness, confusion, all of it. And you'll be tempted to feed those feelings, to replay the past, to obsess over what she's doing, who she's with, if she ever thinks about you. But here's the moment that defines everything. When you stop asking why it happened and start asking what you're going to do with it. This is the shift, the most powerful pivot in your life. When you stop being reactive and start being relentless. You take all that emotional chaos and you channel it into execution. You wake up early. You hit the gym like a machine. You build new habits. You stop wasting time on people who don't value it. You put your energy into something that pays you back. You. It's not about proving anything to her anymore. That's a trap. This is about becoming the man who doesn't break when people walk away. A man who doesn't need to explain himself because his life speaks loud enough. While she's watching stories and chasing distractions, you're working in silence. You're building a routine so locked in, her memory starts to fade in it. And here's the twist. This isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about converting them. Alchemy. You turn pain into progress, rejection into redirection. You don't run from the fire, you walk through it, and you come out sharper. This is where she starts to feel the shift too. You're not chasing her anymore. You're not orbiting her world. You're building your own universe now, and she's no longer invited. If you're done feeling sorry for yourself, if you're ready to grind through the pain and turn heartbreak into hunger, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I move forward with purpose. Number 4. The mystery. What she can't see haunts her. She expected you to linger, to lurk, to watch her stories, like her posts, maybe even slide back in with a weak "how've you been?" She expected you to crumble in plain sight, because that's what most men do. They make their pain visible. But you disappeared. No updates, no signs, just gone. And that is what starts eating at her. Mystery is power. What people can't see, they start imagining. And imagination always hits harder than reality. When she can't track your moves, she starts wondering, is he seeing someone else? Did he really let go that easily? Was I just a phase? That uncertainty, it messes with her more than any speech you could have given. Because when a man moves in silence, Every inch of distance becomes a question mark in her head. You don't need to flex. You don't need to post gym selfies or fake a glow-up. Just vanish from her line of sight and watch what happens. She'll click your profile more than you ever clicked hers. She'll wonder why the man who once poured into her suddenly has no interest in being seen. And that confusion, that's the beginning of regret. Because here's what no one tells you. Being mysterious after heartbreak isn't a trick. It's a transformation. You're not hiding to play games. You're locked in, working. She's not seeing less of you because you're hurt. She's seeing less of you because you're healing. And healing privately is dangerous. That's when you become unpredictable. And unpredictable men, they're unforgettable. If you're done explaining yourself, if you're ready to let your silence create curiosity and power, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. What she can't see, she can't control. Number 5. The mirror. She starts to doubt herself. At first, she was sure, confident in her decision. Maybe she thought she could do better. Maybe she thought you'd always be there, orbiting her world, waiting for a second chance. But then something shifts. Time passes. You're quiet, focused, absent. And now, she's not so sure anymore. Doubt starts slow. It creeps in when she sees you didn't break, when she hears your name and there's no scandal, no drama, just silence and forward motion. She starts comparing. The guys she's talking to now, they don't have your discipline, your depth. They don't make her feel safe like you did. And now the mirror turns on her. Did I overreact? Was I too cold? Did I let go of something real because I wanted something easy? She starts remembering things she tried to forget. The way you handled pressure. The way you protected her when no one else did. The way you stood on your principles when most men folded. She didn't see it then, but now, in your absence, it hits different. And that's the irony. When you were available, she took it for granted. Now that you're unreachable, you've become rare. Because Stoic men who don't fold under pressure, men who don't beg, men who heal in silence, they're hard to replace. She might have walked away thinking she could do better. But now, she's not so sure she even understood what she had. Let her wrestle with that, not out of revenge, but because that's what happens when a man levels up and never looks back. You didn't change to get her attention. You changed because pain demanded evolution, and you answered. If you're done proving yourself to people who couldn't see your worth, if you're ready to let your growth become her mirror, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. Let her feel the weight of my absence. Number 6. The power. Detachment is magnetic. There's a shift that happens deep inside when you finally let go. Not pretend to, actually let go. When you stop obsessing over what she's thinking, who she's seeing, whether she misses you or not. And in that detachment, something rare starts to grow. Power. See, when a man is no longer emotionally dependent on someone else's validation, he becomes untouchable. Not because he's cold, but because he's centered. The chaos doesn't affect him anymore. He's moved from reaction to intention. He controls his energy, his attention, his time. And that's magnetic, because most people are controlled by emotion. But you've mastered yours. Now she starts to notice. Maybe she reaches out and gets one-word replies. Maybe she hears through friends that you've been doing your thing, calm, focused, distant. And suddenly she feels it, your detachment. Not anger, not hate, just neutrality. And that neutrality is more powerful than any insult, because you're not ignoring her to punish her. You're just not checking for her anymore. She thought silence would break you, but it made you. She expected to live rent-free in your head, but now she's just a ghost in a place you don't visit. And that contrast, it flips the script. When you're no longer available, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, that's when you become most wanted. Because humans always chase what they can't control. You didn't win her back, you won yourself back. And that's the only win that ever mattered. If you're done clinging to what left you, if you're ready to stand firm in your detachment and let the world adjust, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I detach, therefore I am free. Number 7, the test. She reaches out. It always happens, just when you've stopped checking your phone, just when the memories fade and your focus sharpens, she reaches out. A text, a DM. Maybe it's casual. Hey, hope you're good. Or it's late at night when her loneliness gets louder than her pride. And in that moment, you're tested, not by her words, but by your reaction. This is the trap. She's not always trying to come back. Sometimes she just wants to see if she still has you, if she can still press a button and pull you back into orbit. And if you jump, if you reply instantly or worse, emotionally, you lose everything you've built. The mystery, gone. The detachment, shattered. The power, handed right back to her. But a man who's mastered himself doesn't chase breadcrumbs. He doesn't break silence for a cheap dopamine hit. He sees the message, feels the pull, and chooses stillness. Because power isn't in how you respond, it's in whether you respond at all. And if you do, it's on your terms, measured, cold, calm. Let her feel the gap she created. Let her realize that reaching out doesn't guarantee access. She thought you'd be waiting. Nope. You moved on without the need for closure. That alone speaks louder than any paragraph ever could. This is the test, and you pass it by remembering who you are now, not who you were when she left. If you're done being emotionally hijacked, if you're ready to stay grounded when the past comes knocking, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I respond with control, or not at all. Number 8, the response. Let your absence speak. This is where most men fail. They get the message, the call, the little spark of attention, and they rush in, hoping it means something. But you've evolved past that. You've learned that the real response doesn't need to be typed out. It's not in paragraphs. It's not in calls. It's in absence. It's in showing her that her access to you is no longer free. She expected to leave and still have a line to your heart. She didn't expect to hit a wall of silence. And when she reaches out and gets nothing, or a cold, short answer, that silence becomes deafening. It forces her to sit with everything she tried to avoid, her choices, her assumptions, her ego. And that's where the regret starts to take shape. Not because you chased her, but because you didn't. No emotional rants, no last conversations, no "I miss you too," just silence, cold, final. And the more she presses, the more she realizes the door is closed. You didn't move on to hurt her, you moved on to heal you. And now she has to watch from a distance as the man she took for granted becomes the man she can't reach. That's the ultimate response. No response. Not out of spite, but out of clarity. You finally see the truth, and the truth no longer needs to be argued. That's when you win. Not because she regrets it, but because you don't need her to anymore. If you're done reopening doors that led to nowhere, if you're ready to let your absence be louder than any message, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. No response is the response. Number 9. The ascension. You become untouchable. By now you're no longer healing. You're building. You're not surviving the loss. You've outgrown it. What once broke you now feels small, distant, irrelevant. That's the ascension. When the pain becomes fuel. when the silence becomes peace, when you stop hoping for her return and start realizing you don't even want it anymore. Your focus is different now. You walk with presence. You speak less, observe more. Your body's sharper, your mind's clearer. Your goals are louder than your emotions. You've stepped into a version of yourself she never believed you'd reach. Maybe you didn't either, but here you are, and now she sees it. You've become what she only thought you could be when it was convenient for her, and now she can't access it. She sees glimpses, through mutual friends, online, wherever, but it's just that, a glimpse. Because you've leveled up and she doesn't have the clearance anymore. That's what makes you untouchable. Not arrogance, not revenge, just elevation. Quiet, disciplined, earned elevation. You stopped needing attention, and that's what draws it. You stopped chasing love, and that's what makes it chase you. The man who was once broken now walks like he never bled for anyone. And that's the moment she feels it all. The regret, the weight, the reality that she didn't lose a boy who couldn't handle her. She lost a man who outgrew her chaos. If you're done playing small, if you're ready to rise so high she can only look up and wonder, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below, I rise and I don't look back. Number 10. The closure. Let her regret in peace. You've done the work. You've faced the storm without running. You've turned heartbreak into discipline, silence into strength, and detachment into growth. And now, you don't need revenge. You don't need closure. You don't need her to apologize or admit she was wrong or come crawling back. Because real closure isn't about what she says, it's about what you no longer need. She might regret it. She probably will. She'll remember the way you cared, the way you showed up, the way you had her back when no one else did. But by the time that regret sets in, you'll be long gone. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, miles ahead. And here's the key. You won't even feel like punishing her for it. Because you've healed, fully, quietly, completely. Let her regret in peace. Don't interrupt it. Don't respond to it. Let her sit with the weight of her choices. Let her scroll through your progress, hear your name, feel that slow burn of what could have been, and let it stay unspoken. That's the win. That's the power move. Not bitterness, not ego, just a life so upgraded she doesn't even know how to approach you anymore. You're not the same man she walked away from. You're the man she'll never get close to again. That's what Stoic silence builds. Not noise, not chaos, legacy. If you're done holding space for someone who didn't know how to keep it, if you're ready to close the chapter and walk forward with peace, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I gave myself the closure. You don't need to scream to be heard. You don't need to beg to be seen. When you master your emotions, when you hold the line, when you choose silence over reaction, you become unforgettable. Not because you chased her, but because you didn't. Not because you tried to prove your worth, but because you became too focused on building it to care who noticed. Let her doubt. Let her wonder. Let her regret. That's not your concern anymore. Your only job now is to become so locked in, so unshakable, that nothing and no one can break your peace again. The man who rises from heartbreak without seeking revenge is the man no one ever sees coming, but everyone remembers. So take the pain, turn it into discipline. Let your silence speak louder than anything you could have said. And when she looks back, and she will, make sure there's nothing left for her to come back to. If this hit you where it needed to, if you're done being the version of you that begged for less than you deserved, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and drop it one last time in the comments. I am no longer available to what broke me. This is Stoic Blessing. Until next time, stay silent, stay sharp, stay unshakable.